Hello, this video is about replacing or upgrading the differential output yokes on your Traxxas car. So I've already done one of them, which is why everything's open and why there's one of these parts in here. So it's part number 4628X and they're steel differential output yokes that connect to the drive shaft, and they're far more durable than the plastic ones. And for this you'll need the little four-way tool that comes with your Traxxas car, and you'll need a screwdriver, a Phillips head one, and you'll need the smallest Allen key that comes with your Traxxas car. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the four-way tool and you're going to undo the wheel and take off this wheel. So then after you've taken the wheel off, you'll get your screwdriver, the Phillips head one, and you'll want to take off the top and the bottom screw for the gear cover. Pop the gear cover off, and you'll just put that to the side. And now you've got access to the spur gear. So you're going to want to take this four-way driver again, and the same part as you've used before. You have to hold the spur gear really tight. So once you've unscrewed the nut, you can just loosen it the rest of the way. And you don't want to lose this, so you'll put that somewhere safe. I'll put it over here. And you'll also want to take off the spring. Put that to the side as well. And then you can pull off the spur gear, and if you need to, this would be a good time to replace the bearing in the spur gear. I don't need to do that, so I'll just put that to the side. And then the slipper clutch plate, and then the rest of the slipper clutch. You put all of this to the side, and then now you've got a bit more access to the little pin, the little grub screw in the top of the drive shaft. So you can take this wheel back off and put it back under again. I'm going to put the nut and the screws back in the wheel so that I don't lose them quite so easily. And then there's a tiny grub screw in here for the differential output yoke, and you use this Allen key. It's the smallest one that should have come with your car. So once you've used the Allen key to unscrew the grub screw, it's easy to use a bit of needle nose pliers and just take it off. Put this to the side. The new output yoke comes with the two little grub screws, so you won't need the old one, but it's good to keep it safe so that you have a spare. And then you should be able to just pull off and then pull out, so then you have this bit of the drive shaft with the old output yoke on it. And if you look at the new one, it comes with because this is a metal one, so you can't put a new one into it, so it comes with a new universal joint attached to it. So the bit that you need to remove on the old one is this bit here, so you need to get the universal joint out of the top half of the drive shaft, and then you can just discard the top output yoke. So how I like to do this is get a pair of needle nose pliers, put them under like that, and then kind of bend it out so that the universal joint can pop to the side. So you can see that the joint's now to the side of the main shaft and it's not inside that hole. So then you can just wiggle it and it should be able to just come out like that, and then you're left with this. This is what you will be using if you're just replacing the top part, and then this is what you no longer use, and you could discard or keep as a spare. So you can just put that to the side either way. And then to install the new one, you'll notice that you can't just put it in like this, because it won't fit like that. So in the same way that you took out the old one, you'll need to put in the new one, but this time in reverse. So you'll need to kind of wiggle one pin into here, and then use pliers to bend it up and put the other side in. So I'll be back when I've done that. So once you have put the new differential output yoke onto the top part of the drive shaft, you'll want to take the bottom part of the drive shaft and slide it in, and then you'll want to line up the two grub screws with the top and bottom. Okay, so when you've used the grub screws to attach the output yoke to the differential output, you'll basically want to go and put the spur gear back on. So the first part that you put in, if you've left the pin in, then you don't have to worry about it. Otherwise you put the pin through the hole first, and then you get the pad here, you line up the slot for the bar and you press it on. Make sure that it only turns with the shaft, and then the next piece is this plate, which you line up with these notches on it. So you put it on like that, and then after that the next piece, so you want to get the differential gear, the spur gear, and just press it on all the way. Make sure that it's like that, and it's a good thing to double check that the plate's still lined up, because sometimes it can fall off when you're going and putting the the spur gear back on. So then after that you'll put the spring back on, and then you'll get the little nut that goes back on here, and screw it on by hand loosely just to get it going. And then you'll want to again take all the screws and stuff out of that and put the wheel back on. You don't need to screw it down, you just need it so that it's locked onto it, and then you can tighten the spur gear all the way. When you've tightened it all the way, you just release it about half a turn. It's normally good for these. I normally have it a bit tighter than that because the motor I've got in here is really powerful, and I'd rather it do wheelies than just not do anything at the start and accelerate slowly. I'd rather accelerate fast. So you've got it tightened all the way, then you just loosen it a little bit. You have the slipper clutch so that it doesn't put as much strain on everything. So you just loosen it a little bit. Make sure that the spur gear is still meshed with the pinion gear of the motor, so you should move it. There should be a tiny bit of play in it, and that looks perfect. So take off the wheel again, put that underneath, and then you'll want to put the gear cover back on. So once you've done that, you'll want to just get the wheel and pop it on to the shaft, make sure that it's on all the way, and then tighten the nut. So that's how to replace the differential output yokes. Thanks for watching, and bye.